G'day, I'm Chris from Stoney Creek Campers. Welcome back to another episode in our how-to series. Today we're going to be talking about the toilet cassette. Everything from start to finish, from opening it, removing it, emptying the contents and putting it back in. Today for demonstration we're using the Scout 15. You'll see your cassette is located at the rear on the driver's side. The first step to opening it up is obviously unlocking the front. You can insert your key. They have quite a tight door seal on them, so you want to apply a little bit of pressure on the front as you rotate that lock. It's going to make life easy for you rather than fighting and then potentially breaking a key off. So once we've unlocked it, we'll remove our keys and put them somewhere safe. The door can then just pull open. They swing all the way around to the van so you can get easy access to the cassette. This particular cassette is a Dometic, so the way we release it, there is a green lever underneath. We have to lift that up and then we can pull the cassette out. A gentle pull, basically it will just remove the cassette all the way. A couple of key components with the cassette. You've got that little green handle I was talking about to release it. Here you've got a telescopic handle, like a suitcase. That will allow you to put it down on the floor and it will roll behind on these wheels. You've got the tube on the top here, that is to spin around and empty the components. On here we have a valve which will allow the air to come out while you're tipping it. That's going to stop it from going glug 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 and splashing back on you. On the top here, these components you rarely need to open, as when you're inside the toilet and you pull the handle out, which we'll touch base on next, that does all of this for you. Should you need to open it up, you can do it via pressing that lever and sliding it. That will give you access to inside for the seal maintenance and things like that. The first step in emptying it, obviously aside from removing it, you want to go to your dump point, whether it be a caravan park or in town or wherever you've stopped. Step one would be to slide this tube over. So that's simply just grab it and slide it. You want it running vertical with the cassette. Unscrew that cap, put that somewhere safe before you lift the lid on the dump point. That's my advice. I've nearly lost one myself a couple of times. And if that's gone, it's going to make the rest of your trip very, very difficult. So we'll put that down somewhere safe. We'll proceed to lift the flap up on the dump point. You're going to hold it and push that button in. That's going to allow the air to get in as you tip the contents out. Once you've done the initial tip, then you'll place it on the floor. You'll grab your fresh water supply, fill it back up, just halfway, quarter way, whatever you need. At that point you can give it a swish around and then you'll tip it again. You do this a couple of times until the water coming out is clean and there's no debris left inside. From that point we can close the lid on the dump point, grab your cap, back on top, swing it around, and then we can put it back inside the camper. So when it goes in, the handle and the green lever is out, wheels in first. So we'll place it back inside, we'll slide it in. Now here we're listening for the click of that lever to let us know that it's latched back in place. If you just push it in like that, close the door, the cassette inside isn't going to operate properly. So we want to push it in and we're going to listen for that click. That way we know it's latched in, it's not going to move in transit, and we know it's going to operate correctly inside. Then we can grab our keys and we can close the hatch door. Same as opening it, we're going to look for that bit of pressure on it just to make life easy when locking it. Double check that it's latched shut. We're good to be driving down the highway. Alright, now we'll go inside and I'll show you the inside for the toilet cassette. Alright, so we're inside the caravan at the moment. I'll run you through the internal components of the toilet. Up on top here in the middle you see there is a flush button. Off to the right of that you've got a little picture of the cassette. That's going to illuminate if the cassette is full, and it's going to give you a heads up it's time to start looking for an appropriate dump point to empty the contents. The other components of the toilet is the lid and the seat. You can see when you look down from the top after lifting the lid, there is a flap. That flap goes across the top and stops any odours coming up into the van when the toilet's not being used. Before you use the toilet, you're going to need to open that flap. That allows the contents to go down inside the cassette. Once you're finished, you'll push the flush button up on top, then you can close the flap. Once again, remembering to close the lid when you're finished. That's basically all there is to the toilet inside. They're pretty straightforward. Make sure you pull the flap before using, close the flap when you're finished, and then keep an eye out for that cassette illuminator. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in on this how-to episode on the toilet cassette. Stay tuned, we're going to have more like these coming out in the future, touching base on all the common questions and parts of your hybrid and camper. So thank you again for coming along on the journey. See you soon.